Hey Shaker Makers, it's Demo Donna here with Queen & Company, and this week I am using the brand new Love Sentiment Stacker Set. Piping hot! This is brand spanking new, live last night. So get it while supplies last. You know how quickly these amazing kits go. There are two adorable paper pads, the Lucky and Love pattern paper and the solids, which are both beautiful. The color palette is just stunning with the grays and the pinks and the raspberry tart color and the blacks and the not so dark black and the grays. You know, I can go on forever. You've also got a fantastic stamp set and 6 dies. So with that, you can create the lovely non-shaker cards, which are the fantastic background with the typical like stacker set look. Or in today's video, I am going to be showing you how to make a shaker card out of your stacker set. So I'm also going to be using, I know you guys have been asking a lot about how to use the fabulous border dies. So I grabbed one and I'm going to be using the On Point border die in this kit and show you how to use it. So here is the fantastic card we're going to be making. Again, pause this video right now and go grab your Love Stacker set while supplies last at thequeenandcompany.com. I'll put the link in the description box, of course. Thank you guys so much for watching. So you don't miss out on any of these videos, make sure you subscribe to our channel. I almost forgot to tell you, the word of the week to enter into this week's contest is heart. Might as well keep it up with the theme. So go ahead and leave a comment below using the word heart in a sentence or just write heart, and you'll be entered to win, and a winner will be chosen randomly, and I will let you know during next week's video. Thank you so much. Stick around for the end for last week's winner. To get started on this, you hold a special place in my heart card using the Love Sentiment Stacker Set, brand new. So exciting. What I did was I am taking papers from the Lucky and Love, which comes in the kit and is only sold in the kit, and the Lucky and Love solids. These are such beautiful color palettes. I just love it. Really, really excited to be working with this beautiful color palette. So obviously there's a lot of different gray patterns that you can choose from. I'm choosing these floating solid and open hearts, but you can see there is a lot of beautiful pattern paper to choose from to create this look. So to get started, I went ahead and cut out this little strip, and this is 5.5 by 2 inches. And I am going to go ahead and assemble all of this, and I'm going to speed it up. Before I get to that, I'm going to show you how to use the On Point borders to cut out these fun little layering borders that we're going to be using on the front of our card. So I will show you how to do that now. A simple way to use your On Point borders, which are all, as you can see, pointy tips, which are going to be really great for your horizontal orientation on your cards. So a trick to doing this and making sure they are all lined up is to go ahead and measure your paper. So I have already cut out this piece from the Lucky and Love set, and what I'm going to do is center it. So I've got the 0 mark here on my gridded craft mat, and I'm going to center my piece so that this is 5.5 by 4 inches. So basically my 0 mark is in the center here, and I've got 2 3/4 inches on both sides. So having a line down the middle is going to make it really easy to center my On Point border. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start at the bottom here, and I'm going to hold my paper steady, because you want to make sure that it's nice and even, so when you go ahead and add this to your card front, you've got nice straight lines on both sides. Now you can go ahead and tape this to your craft mat to keep it even while you're placing your die down. I'm going to go ahead and take a piece of washi tape, or removable tape, and I've got the center of my on-point border, and then I'm just going to make sure both of my ends are hitting at the same point. So I'm eyeballing it instead of actually measuring it. So they're both coming to this gridded line here, and then I'm going to go ahead and tape that down. So now, because I used the craft mat, these are actually going to end at the same spot. And then once I run that through my die cut machine, I have got a nice, it's even on both ends. So for this particular card, I went ahead and did that for all 3 of my borders. Of course, the one strip of paper that I'm using, that I'm laying down last on my card, is going to be the longest, and I just cut smaller strips for my 2 other layers. But that is how you use your on-point borders. Okay, so this is 5.5 by 2 inches. You can obviously use the whole length of the card, but I didn't want to waste any of my beautiful pattern paper. So I've got some adhesive on the back, and I'm now just going to start layering these. And now that you know how to cut out these fantastic borders, we are going to layer those as well. And now this last piece, I cut a bit larger. So I actually cut it, I started with the same dimensions of the card because I knew I wanted it to be tall. So if you're working on, this is an A2 card base, but if you're working on a larger card, just remember to make that last one pretty big. So I'm going to go ahead and add my adhesive to the top of my card base, so I know that that's nice and adhered. And then I'm going to add my adhesive along the bottom here. So now when I go to adhere that, none of this is sticky, and I could just trim that right off. And because we learned how to measure it, it's nice and even on both sides. And there we go. Press that down. And now you're just left with a little bit to trim off. Okay, now that I have all that glued together, I'm going to show you a trick on how to create the top of the shaker that we're making. So we're using the oval from die cut number 6, and you're going to want to cut out 2 of these, one with your white cardstock, which I'm going to show you, and then I'm going to use another color for the inside of my shaker. So I went with either this, I think I'm going to use this polka dot one in the end, so that will be really fun. So make sure you cut out 2 of those. A nice trick for cutting out your heart die, what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this oval die from foundation die number 6, place it on a piece of white cardstock, and then I'm going to take the stacked heart outline and I'm going to center it inside of the oval from foundation die number 6. Then I'm going to take some washi tape and just simply tape those down before I run it through my die cut machine to hold it in place. Now I've already chosen the stamp design that I'm going to use, which is "You Hold a Special Place in My Heart." So just make sure there's enough room for whatever stamp you're choosing to go with this. Now that I've run this through my die cut machine, I am going to remove the washi tape or removable tape that I placed to hold my dies from moving around. And then I have my this is going to be the top of my shaker. And then the nice part is you're going to want to keep this because this is going to be used in the future for my actual stackers. So there's a little sample of what that's gonna look like on another card. Now that you have your heart oval piece cut out, for this particular stamping technique, I am going to use a stamp positioner versus using my stamp block. And that's because it's a special piece of paper versus just stamping out on cardstock. So I'm going to go ahead and place, I don't use a positioner often, so I'm sure most of you watching are more pros than I am. So I'm going to make sure I have it on the clear setting for clear stamps. And what I'm going to do is place my stamp where I would like it, which I'm going to have it centered right over the heart die cut. And now I'm going to go ahead and pick up the stamp with the top of my stamp positioner. And now I'm going to ink it. And I'm using a purple hydrangea ink, which matched really nicely to the paper. You could also use a black ink if you don't have it. And I just did a little bit at a time, and see, I'm gonna wanna hit it one more time, maybe even 2 more times. So I get a nice dark impression. There we go. And that is just lovely. So if I was making a couple of these cards, I can just leave my stamp right up there on the top plate and then continue to make these. But now I have a nice dark stamp out versus when I did it with my, you could see the difference when I just did it with a stamping block. I obviously am not able to stamp it over and over again, so it wasn't as dark, but still good enough. If you don't have a stamp positioner, you can obviously still just go ahead and stamp that out. And you want to make sure you do your stamping before you turn this into a shaker. So the next part to create our shaker, I'm going to take a piece of acetate, and I've just got a little square here. It was in my scraps, and I am just going to measure this off to make sure it fits right in there. And then I am going to go ahead and take my sheer glue, and I am just going to go right around. There we go. The die cut with the sheer glue, and then place the acetate right over, and I'm just applying a little bit of pressure to make sure that's nice and adhered. And then I've got my acetate sheet. You could see the glare right inside there. So once that dries, we are going to go ahead and take some scrap pieces from all of your past shakers. So instead of trying to create an oval shape, I am just going to create a little box to keep all of my shakers in there. And none of this is going to be seen, whereas with your other shaker cards, which are perfectly cut out, you actually see the foam. So this way it's not going to be seen. So we're just going to create a little box in here. So I'm using thin pieces left over, and I'm going about maybe 1/8 of an inch above the cutout. And the thickness doesn't matter, which is nice too. All right, there we go. We have our foam backing for our shaker. You have two options at this point. So I have the acetate right here on top, and you can take your great little heart, the detailed words, and put them right on top of your acetate, or you can do them in the background underneath inside the shaker. So what I've decided to do is put mine on top of my shaker. So I'm just gonna add a little bit of sheer glue. You don't wanna do too much because you don't want it to be spilling out on top of the acetate. So do a very light Now go ahead and center the die cut. So that's the detailed. And there you have it. Now that you have created your shaker, we are going to go ahead and fill it up. So I am, of course, I'm going to take some of these great happy hearts and throw those in there. They are so cute. That was a lot. That was fun. I'm also using the brand new matte Pearlies. I wanted some of that silver. And then I'm also going to use some of the pearl color Pearlies from that same set. And of course, a few diamonds. All right, once you have that completed, you're going to go ahead and remove the backing. So now we're going to attach our bottom here, and you're probably going to want to hover your head right over top of it to make sure it's nice and even all around, because once that's stuck down, that is stuck down. There we go. And now you have your adorable shaker. And that is gonna go right on top here. And then I have also cut out using the love letter kit. I love this tiny little heart. So I also cut out some hearts to be coming away from, and you know, I'm gonna use a little red liner tape just to make sure that shaker stays. Okay, so I'm gonna attach a little red liner, and as we all know, that's not going anywhere with some red liner tape. This is now attached with your red liner tape. You've got your beautiful shaker. We're gonna go ahead and add a couple little hearts. So I went ahead and just put a little foam square on the back of these. All right, there you go. You have your sentiment stacker, and we did a different version this time. Instead of the background with the cut on top, we made a shaker using our foundation die and our fantastic leftovers that we all have so many of from creating our beautiful shaker cards. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed the creation of this really adorable shaker card using the brand new Love Sentiment Stacker. Remember, all the details for this kit could be found in the description. All the links, you just click them, add to your cart, and you're good to go. First come, first serve. You don't want to miss out on all of these great products before they sell out. So make sure you hop on over to the Queen & Company website. And now, this week's winner, remember, you must be a subscriber to win our crowns for the week. And the winner is Samantha Coleman. Congratulations, Samantha Coleman. Thanks so much for watching week after week and adding to our comment section. And Samantha wrote, you come up with some of the most adorable cards. Oops, almost forgot pink. So way to go, Samantha. Congratulations. And thank you guys all so much again for watching and subscribing week after week. It's so fun to hang out with you here on the Queen & Company YouTube channel. Bye-bye.